Welcome in, along with Mike Renner. I'm Steve Palazzolo. This is your Philadelphia Eagles NFL Draft Recap, all powered by PFF Edge and Elite. Mike, the Eagles came into this draft one of those few teams that didn't have a ton of needs, but they hit some important positions with some very, very good players, starting with Andre Dillard, the tackle from Washington State. This could become a steal at number 22 overall.
Yeah, in terms of the process, the decision-making process that went into a pick, I think this was my favorite of the entire draft because of the foresight that went into it. He's not going to step in and start for you right away. You have Jason Peters, you have Lane Johnson established there at tackle, but the value was too much. They were picking at 25, knew the Texans at 23 needed a tackle, saw this guy in Andre Dillard, who we have as a top 15 player in this class, thought he was a polished pass protector. The Eagles saw the same, thought he could be a starting caliber tackle, and the value of a starting caliber tackle is immense in today's NFL. They're making 15 plus million if you can just stay in front of a guy for a couple of seconds. You don't have to be even well above average to make big money at the position. And so if you get a cost-controlled guy like that to replace Jason Peters, you're in a position to do so. They went ahead and did it, and now next year when Jason Peters subsequently, or whenever he does retire, they won't have to go out on the free agent market and spend $15 million in cap space that they don't really have. They have their guy waiting in the wings for cheap.
And plus they might have him immediately if Jason Peters gets hurt. Once again, Dillard, 3 years of elite pass blocking grades, moves well, handled himself well at the Senior Bowl. Tough transition sometimes from Washington State, but checking all the boxes during the offseason as well. Here's the next thing I like. We don't love running backs that high. Miles Sanders in the second round. Maybe I wouldn't have taken him there, but they offset it with J.J. Arcega-Whiteside a few picks later. I love the way they're adding playmakers around Carson Wentz. They have every styled receiver all ready for Wentz to throw to. Now they have another big-bodied contested catch guy like Arcega-Whiteside and Miles Sanders who could do a little bit catching the ball in the backfield.
Yeah, Wentz loves to give his wide receivers chances there to make plays, even when they're not necessarily wide open. That is J.J. Arcega-Whiteside to a T. He will come down with those, in my opinion, better than anyone else in this draft class, similar to Alshon Jeffrey in that regard. And if they're going up against some smaller corners, they can just play some physical schoolyard basketball there against the teams they're going up against, both big-bodied. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, he's going to be a handful in the red zone already with a couple good tight ends there for red zone threats. I think they're going to be one of the better red zone teams in the NFL with all the talent they have there now offensively.
And Miles Sanders, our number 2 running back, so the right time.
If you're going to pick a running back, that was the one you should have been picking there, yes.
They went back to Penn State on day 3. Shariff Miller, the edge defender, there's a point where he looks like a potential breakout player. Never really took that next step, but a guy, again, at that value, 138 overall, not a bad selection to add to the D-line.
Yeah, he's got some explosiveness. He is a bull rusher, and they love pocket compression there in Philadelphia. That is their calling card. Every single play, they want that pocket to be as tight as possible. Not necessarily get everyone not going for sacks necessarily there. They want guys like Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, the guys who can just walk offensive linemen back. To me, that's Shariff Miller. That's what he did when he was at his best there at Penn State.
5th round quarterback Clayton Force. There were times where he was getting rumored up in the 2nd round because he's tall with a big arm, but probably went in the right spot. 5th round to undrafted. We'll see what he can do in camp, compete for a backup job, but a 73 overall PFF grade's the best we've seen of his career. He needs to improve his accuracy. But overall, the Eagles add some valuable parts despite only having a handful of draft picks. It's your Philadelphia Eagles NFL Draft Recap, all powered by PFF Edge and Elite.